Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
You are most welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, like and also share for other new members to watch as well. You can also leave a comment after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277-128-777. Thank you. An US-based organization and management expert has also added his voice to Bawumia's speech or address, saying he said a whole lot of things that can be implemented in just a week. He also said he's trying to run away from failure but claim a glory of the government. He also compared him to Mahama, saying Mahama have a vision but Bawumia did not have vision, and also said passport is not his job, it's the job of the director. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said into detail. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I'm sure you come much more regularly.
Yes, I've been in Ghana for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I left Ghana a long time ago.
Okay.
So I've been a regular visitor since 2005.
Okay.
So I always come and go.
You always come
and go.
So
I'm here.
And nice to see you. We've spoken many times. We've never met.
Yes.
Yeah, we've spoken many times on the phone. Doc is based in the US.
Yes.
And so we have had many conversations on national issues, but this is the first time we're having an in-studio conversation.
Right.
And I'm sure, when was the last time we were in Ghana before coming this hour?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
See, because I left and then the pandemic started to be with the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be with them because that was the right time to be with family. So it's ease up, it's not gone. And I think this is the right time to come back to Ghana to pick from where I left over.
But we've been seeking for the better part of a year on national issues.
Yes.
Commenting there on the issues that we in the media report to you or that people tell you is different from when you are experiencing right here in Ghana. We've spoken about the economic challenges over and over again. You've expressed your views. I'm sure when you landed in Ghana, since you've been in Ghana, have your views changed in any way? Or do you think we don't feel it as much as we don't communicate it in the manner in which it is actually felt?
Truly, I think it's like a crime scene. You hear of a crime scene and you find yourself dead now. So I can see the gravity of our problem, and I think it's the worst we can ever get. Because everything is different.
Okay.
The inflation now, even tomato sellers know what inflation is.
Please pull the mic closer to you.
Okay. Because I thought inflation was for those of us in academia, but now almost everybody knows it. Because unless you don't buy things, you go and you see that people are more angrier than they have been.
Okay.
Start a conversation in a trotro, and you see how many people will join you to protest the current situation. So I think everybody must be thinking, just not thinking, but trying to do something about our current situation. If we don't change this government, trust me, there will come a time we will have to sell this country. Because I don't know, I look around and everything is just not in place. It's difficult. Everything is broken. And I wanted to see construction going on as usual. Nothing. Since I started coming here from Lakeside, I've not seen construction. So it means that we are not building our nation. And we need to start building it. I like the idea that President Mahama wants to build the Ghana we want. And that means that once he comes in, it will give us the opportunity to all see what we can do. And you give people that level of freedom and opportunity, they're going to build their country better. You look at the history of industrialized countries, China, Singapore, the people were very much involved. And the vision that he put out there is very clear, and it's also giving me hope that once he comes in, every Ghanaian will join in the enterprise of building this country.
I'll come back to visions because, of course, we have to look at where we are headed to from all this. But talking about this, in fact, a lecturer who lives in the UK also described this as normalized chaos. Normalized chaos. That we've been able to normalize chaos to the point where if you come to Ghana, you think everything is okay. But when you start living in Ghana, what you feel and how the people act are two separate things. Do you agree?
Yeah. You see, the system here is not sophisticated.
Okay.
And usually, anytime you come back, your thinking is how you left it.
Okay.
I mean, I could just buy Kofi Brookman on the street with my 5 CDs. Now it's not possible. So these are some of the strange things that you see. And then sometimes you look stupid. You buy something or you give someone money and it's not enough because you've lost touch with reality. And for me, the gravity is more than you can always imagine. A developed country, I think it will be good if everybody get the chance to see how developed environment look like, because things work. Things make a lot of sense. Developed countries run on common sense. Because you can't tell. Everybody in the street can tell why one thing or the other is the way it is. You can tell why your kid cannot go to school A or B. But this is a country where it's very difficult to live in. You get up, you pay water bill, you want to pay water bill, you want to buy water, you can't get it. Water companies should be providing water, and that's where they should be making money. And now they don't provide. You can have the money, they can't provide it to you. So it's just like you go to buy something that they're selling, and the seller tells, no, I don't have it. It's a frustration that, I always see as very complex because we should be getting things that we want. And it's because it's about mismanagement. Because when you run the water company, your goal should be to do that as much as possible. I mean, supply water and then make profit out of it. But there are a lot of bottlenecks on the way to do that. Our rivers are drying up. Everywhere is dusty. We will look at gutters, they are choked. Nobody's cleaning. And the system is so disorganized. And I look at the traffic and say, look, traffic needs a lot of management. Our MTU should have engineers who can stand and say, look, let's close this road. Let's open this road. Let's let the trucks take one section of the road, and then we can fix the traffic situation. But someone will tell you it has been that way, and you need to conform. So when you come back, you need to conform more because you have to accept the situation.
You have to readapt.
So some people get so angry, and I think I'm one of them, because certain things I'll go somewhere and then find out we could just do things to ease up what we are doing, and they sound complex. My area is organization and management, like you already said. And I look at everything involves organization. Now you look at it and see, you could just remove this, remove that, and it works. There's someone in charge of it. They are not doing their work because top there, people are not doing their work also. And the politicians are now the most, how should I describe it? There's so much anger against politicians because politicians are taking responsibility for things that they shouldn't take responsibility for.
Okay.
If society is organized, there should be boundaries between what the politicians do and what the traditional system is supposed to do, whether there are politicians or not.
Okay.
So if we don't fix what you just said, normalize chaos, it's going to escalate to a point where we may have a more tense situation where people will start chasing politicians, thinking that they are responsible for doing everything. But if society is organized very well, then people can join and the society can develop. So I agree with him, is a normalized chaos. The way you see it when you come in, it may not be the same way people who are already in it because they are forced to conform with whatever is there.
But on the matter of the politicians, I think there's a famous saying that leadership is cause, everything else is effect.
Yes.
Of course, you seem we have a country where a lot of power is concentrated in the hand of a few.
Yeah.
Who are usually politicians.
Yes.
So is that not understandable if people then turn to them when things don't work?
It's always like that. But you see, if you involve the people who are supposed to be part of it, in this country, government is interested in development projects because that's where procurement are. But if you don't develop your people, you can't develop your country. Even if you develop, you can't sustain it. I'll give you an example. Where I live in the US, they figured out the population is growing. So they need a new middle school because they need to get students there.
Okay.
The mayor cannot, or the legislature, whatever government, cannot come out and just say, okay, I'm going to use your money to do that. Because the money comes from the people. So they need to organize a referendum and ask us, those living there, do you want the school or not?
A referendum to decide whether or not to build the school.
People are involved. So if we say yes, and it's okay, this is a cost. So your taxes will go up by 15% if you want the school.
Okay.
So it's about us agreeing because we know how important it is. And we know why we are paying for the school. So if you impose the tax or increase the tax, nobody gets angry because we chose it. But in Ghana, look at the taxes. Just buy petrol and look at your receipt. There are a lot of taxes that are imposed on us and we've not been part of it. We cannot participate in what Parliament is doing. But if the grassroots is very effective and is working, you can't tell. In my area, they say no. They don't want new school. So the government cannot increase our taxes. And they know very well that it's going to help the future generations, it's going to help a lot of people. And people move into neighborhoods because taxes are low, taxes are high, depending on what you're looking for. And I'm so surprised that some of our leaders are not even looking at that practice. Because democracy is said that when you practice it, as if you have created a new system and you're going to run it, you have no examples. So I always blame the framers of our constitution. They should have just adopted an advanced country's constitution, Britain, America. Then anytime we have an example, we need an example, we go to America and fetch it. We go to Britain and fetch it. And that would have worked. The free HS system is a good idea. Although Americans doesn't like the word free. They call it universal because taxpayer is the one funding it.
Okay.
So it's
the same here.
It's a trick.
It's the same
so when we say free, then there should be free roofs. There should be free air. Because government deals with air quality. Free police. We can't say that. But the thing is that you need to look for sustainable source. In America, they chose property tax.
Okay.
And when you pay property tax, it's spelled out. 15% will go towards police.
Okay.
15% will go towards education. So accountability
from the very
infrastructure
beginning
is already set up.
Okay.
The mayor cannot vary it. So if they are doing a budget, education, you know the number of houses you have, anybody can budget for that, how much they're going to receive. So system will work and you can predict what is going to be the outcome because the input is very definitive. So these are things we should be fixing. But we like to build things, build a whole lot of uncompleted buildings. And this is what is choking us because our national debt is choking us. Debt is not too bad, but when you package your debt, say that it takes away your ability to do basic things. America is the most indebted country on the planet. But if they want to pay today, they can print currency. Their currency is very strong. During the pandemic, they printed 3 trillion. And the economy is still there. Inflation is not too bad. So we need to create composite policies that can address most of these issues. And I think if our leaders can just pause a minute and say, let's restart, let's do some reset, we are going to fix system by system. we can really fix this country and make it a place people want to be in.
And talking about the subject of accountability, because, okay, so for a long time, if you import vehicles into this country, they charge import duties according to the age of the vehicle, because it's assumed that the older the vehicle, the more gases it emits,
right,
and the more it affects the environment.
Right.
So that is essentially making room for emission.
Yes.
So from the very beginning, even before we started talking climate change, we've been taking that into consideration.
Yeah.
You have a sanitation and pollution levy put together.
Yeah.
And then now we're introducing an emissions levy. Now, all of this goes into the consolidated fund.
Yes.
Whatever it is used for, nobody does. So compare and contrast what we have here. Do we have a system that anyone on any day can hold accountable?
I think people benefit from the system. Ghanaians are very smart, whether it's politicians, police, taxi drivers. I see how smart they are. But it's just that they are not organized to do what we should be doing. Sometimes accountability is very easy. I remember when we built our house, I always use that example. My wife said, let's paint, let's tile our bathrooms white. So if someone dirty, you can see it on the wall. And it applied to our situation. Anytime you create a transparent system, if anybody tampers with it, you can find out who did. And that is how we should have built our systems. I go to places and I look at the way we manage things. You take loan and you agree to almost everything. There's no loan payment strategy. You might tell the person you are receiving it from, this is how I'm going to pay it back. And then they give you the loan, you come and invest it, and now you're thinking of by the grace of God that you have to pay it. So we jam up everything and you can't account. Because if you want to create transparent system, for example, in the US, United Kingdom, Parliament is very powerful. American president is not powerful. That's why they call him Mr. President. He's just, a normal person. If his electricity is not on, they need to call the same company that I will also call. And they feel they shouldn't use excellency and all that. Because once you make the executive strong, you are making the government dictatorial.
Okay.
The system I just explained to you, for example, you pay your property tax and it's already structured say that you can know how much has gone in here, how much has gone in there. They have certain local level governance, government that has certain laws. If the mayor doesn't balance the budget, he's supposed to be arrested.
Okay.
Because you cannot project. You have 5 houses that you take your taxes from. And you know how much you're going to take. Why are you projecting more expenditure than you can take? So that's the concept.
Okay.
So there must always be some accountability system from how you design the system from the beginning. If, for example, we have the free HSS system, we are basically, in some respect, providing welfare to the rich. If my child and Kennedy Ajepon's child goes to the same school and we all don't pay, who are they punishing? It's me. Because he can afford. So in order to make him pay more, you create a system wherever he lives. Poor person cannot live there. They pay more taxes. And their schools are good. Their schools, they control it. So the better your school, the more your property is valued. For example, East Legon, people want to live there because the schools are good. So if you live there, schools are good, then the value of your house goes up. So it's organized say that there's always a reason why you need to make sure your school is good. Because you want your property value to go up.
Okay.
So that is an incentive for you to even care about what is going on with your taxes and how things are managed. If you look at Ghana, everything is jammed up. We pounce on, people on government payroll because it's easy to tax them. But there are a lot of other ways we can tax people without jeopardizing the fiscal, discipline that we're supposed to maintain. But we ignore that and we rather go after people. If we tax them, it will diminish their real income. And the more they don't have enough to participate in buying and spending on other activities, aggregate demand goes down and it's going to affect the economy significantly. And you look at most people, when they're growing up, there's no hope for them. The American system allow you to get unemployment if you lose your job, not because they like you too much, but whatever you are being given, you spend it. Sellers will sell, they will tax the sellers, and then they will continue to invest in people. Then you go back to work, they can tax you and continue to maintain their economic sanity. So I think we should be fixing systems.
So we should decide what we want to do.
Yes, the system will provide us the accountability. It will provide us all the things we need. But if we go around putting up buildings all over, hospital is not a building. It's a combination of things. Because Radio Gold now, if we bring all the staff from Kolebu here and take all that is in Radio Gold to Kolebu, here will now be Kolebu.
Yes.
And then Kolebu will be Radio Gold. So it's a system, not the building. But whatever we are doing, so I build a hospital, but how many lives can it save? Does it have all the needed things to provide what hospital is supposed to provide? So we should be looking at, we better have 5 hospitals than 100 of them providing no quality service. So this is where we should begin to look at our country from. And then we will take out all the things that doesn't make sense and put our country on the right and reversible footing. So development can happen and it will provide happiness because people are getting angry when they come here because they see systems are not working.
I see. Well, if you just join us, Dr. Justice Salifo is a US-based organization and management expert joining us in studio this morning. He's in town. We've been having a conversation in fact, one of the things we spoke about constantly has been a matter of the economy. Now, everybody then goes back to 2016 when, in fact, I can play, I can just immediately open my fader and play about like 3 voices where Nana Akufo-Addo says it is Dr. Bawumia who is in charge of the economy. Now, you have that person running for the presidency. Let's assume if you were to be in the position of asking him a question or assessing him before even putting him up for the candidature, what would be the main things you'll be looking at?
You know, like I said before, you try to own success. Okay. You should own failure. And Dr. Bawumia's case now look as if someone who wanted to claim the glory of the government, but now running away from the failures of the government. Okay. So it's very hypocritical. Okay. One man cannot be that knowledgeable to fix a country's economy like they presented him. If you look at economics, when you become an expert in economics, it's always something. Development economics, health economics, you are always something, not specific. Economics is in general. Say that you can know every aspect of economics. You know, when you do PhD, your focus narrows to some small part. So he's a development economics economist. And now he's not financial economist. Okay. He's not a health economist. But they package him saying that he was economic messiah, expert in almost every aspect of economics. And they predicted what was going to happen. Oh, they won't borrow, they won't do this, they won't do that. And when you package your vision that way, you are set for where he is today.
Okay.
And credibility matters. So when you say, I'm going to do this, this and that, and then they talked a lot about Gajisberg. We're going to restructure the economy, so we move from the past and talk down everything that were being done. But today the reality has set in, and he's run away from the reality. Politically, if you look at politics, it said that people are looking for credibility. They are looking for people who can own things, who sound authentic. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump was not someone people trusted because he was in litigation with almost everybody in business. He was doing all kinds of things in business. But as a politician, he sounds very authentic. Whatever he believes in, he tells you, look, this is what I believe in. And that sells more. If you look at President Mahama, most of the things he said things and he did things. So that gives him a lot of credibility. He doesn't go around bragging too much about things. He will say, oh, I'll set up a committee to review this. I will do this, I will do that. But Dr. Bawumia was presented as a man who can just do it like God. When I come, I'm going to do A, Y, B, Z. And talk down the system that existed. So the reality has set in. And when he was about to give this speech, I was like, so Ghanaians are now students. So he came in there, packaged his English language. It's only in Ghana people think that engineer is supposed to speak better English than know how to fix a bridge. Because we are more into language, people can...
You're saying that we expect an engineer to speak better English than fix a bridge.
Yes. Know how to fix a bridge.
His basic job is to fix a bridge.
Yes, so this is the problem we have. So he comes there, he rattled the English language, and people say, oh, this guy is so intelligent. But if you go to some places, you come to the US, they speak Spanish. If you speak a bad English in America, nobody will laugh at you. But speak that way in Ghana, they'll start making fun of you. And you look at countries that develop, China, they don't speak English. To Chinese, they don't care how they speak English. They build bridges. Engineer should do this, that. But in our situation, this is what is going on. And Dr. Bawumia basically came to do that, to be a good lecturer than someone who is prepared to be president. Vision is very critical. You can never be a good leader without a vision. Vision defines you. President Mahama said, I want to create a country. I want to build a country based on what Ghanaians want. So that's the destination. So after whatever he is going to do, Ghanaians will say, this is the country we want. We like our country. Love of country. But Dr. Bawumia was expected to at least give me, from my angle, I wanted him to give a sentence as to where he wants Ghana to be. But it's not about passport. It's the director's job. It's the director's vision. Most of the things that he talked about, it should be director or chief executive in charge of an organization who should be dreaming that way. President dream very big. You know, that's why it's not good to elect people. I'm an academic. It's not good to elect academics as presidents. Why? Because they have a narrow field, they have a very technical mind. President is a facilitator. He makes sure that garbage is collected. He doesn't need to be an expert in garbage. He makes sure the economy works. He doesn't need to be an economist. That's why America calls his cabinet members secretaries. They're basically supposed to take notes on behalf of the cabinet. Because the president is he's the center of everything, and he provides a vision. I want our country to be the best in production of tomatoes in Africa. That's a very clear vision. And then you pursue a combination of things. You call the experts and say, look, I want this to happen. How can you do that? He has set the goals, he has provided a clear vision, and they work towards that. But if you come in to go into passport, to go into setting up a bank, those things are not for presidents. So I was so surprised that we were told, glue to your TV, the man is going to tell us our vision. Everybody, took their popcorn and they were watching for the movie to happen. The movie happened. We had the blue man, but we never had an ending that would, make us take something away. So I think.
So you didn't hear vision?
Failed strategy, yeah.
You didn't hear vision at all?
No, I didn't hear vision. I was expecting him to, unfortunately, it happened at UPSA warehouse station. I wanted the clarity of it. Donald Trump said, I want to make America great. It encompasses so many things. It's not just a slogan. He wants to make sure that America controls the world. Okay. America was built with that in mind. So he felt things are not going, he feels that things are not going the way it should. So he wants to bring it back to his core mission, to work. That's a clear vision. President Mahama says, my destination, because vision is more about destination, where you want to get the country to.
Is to build the Ghana we want.
Build the Ghana we want. Okay. So that means once we have that in mind, then we can build our country better. Places like Russia, you meet a lady and say, tell me your qualities. They will include love of country. Because their country, I love my country, and the thing is a virtue. It's a value. So this is where you need to position the nation and make the people involved in it. When you love something, you care about it. If someone is going to mess with it, you won't take it.
Back, yeah.
And I think this is where Achampong started very well, because he brought a lot of things, the national pledge. I remember as kids we have to sing. Anytime he's coming, we're waving the national flag, Ghana flag. I could see Ghana flag used to decorate places where the president is going. It gives you some sense of love of country. So America will call their president the leader of the free world. Who defines it? It's a solemn point to make Americans feel that they are the freest people on the planet. And they feel that they have great generation, they have this, they have that. It's all to make them feel good about their country. And once you love it, you do everything to protect it. If you don't love your country, you watch a policeman take bribe and you are fine with it. But if you love your country, say, no, if we introduce this culture in this country, it will destroy it. Okay. So fundamentally, President Mahama has a vision, but Dr. Bawumia didn't do that. He was always, it was like a sectional address going all over the place.
There are people who said he sounded like the Minister for Communications.
Of course. And I tell you, all the things that he wants to implement, they can be implemented in 1 week.
Everything
he's in power. How long does it take to set a mining bank? And why do we need a mining bank and not agri development bank? He talks a lot about the mining sector. And the mining sector is the way we have been exploited. The big guys are there, so you can't easily change things. You can't change the structure because the big countries have interest in that. That's why they kept us the way we are, so they can exploit us. Certain things, passport, how we get passport, how we exit airport is the director's job. And maybe not the director, the one who handled that section. Yeah.
So let's say the Minister for Foreign Affairs and
or even the
director of passport.
Just the Kotoka International Airport can just do that as innovation. Because they also need to have their own vision in some respect.
So things like we develop an app for electricity company of Ghana to make payment of bills easier. Those are not things that should be coming out of the market.
And I think the most bizarre one was a scrapping of national service.
Yes.
You see, because it comes back, I've been someone who advocates for programs that will make people love their country. Patriotism. National service, if we package it well, it makes people to feel great about themselves. It makes you travel to places that you would normally not travel, bring in national cohesion, and it also exposes you to the workplace. So we need to just enrich the whole process. So by the time you finish national service, you should learn entrepreneurship. You shouldn't do national service maybe in one organization. They bring you to Radio Go 3 months. You go to the military 3 months. They bring you to the classroom. And it gives you a lot of experience. Talk to some people on the street of America, they know more than a professor. Why? Because they are exposed to so many things. So when you expose someone coming from school to certain things, they become curious and begin to see, what can I create out of this situation?
Okay.
Then we will live in a country where creativity and innovation take the center stage, and then enterprise can work. Professor said, if you hire someone to work for you 5 years, they've not added anything, they've not come up with anything innovative, fire them, because they are not valuable. And every citizen also must be valuable. And this is how we get our youth to acquire that that mindset. So scrapping it, I don't see how it's going to help. How it's going to help reduce our national debt, which is choking us, and we can't do anything. Ghana government cannot buy anything now because we are being controlled by IMF. IMF is running our economy. And it's because we are in that prison because of the reckless expenditure. He's talking about leasing vehicles. I don't know whether Dr. Bawumia has actually ever leased a vehicle. When you lease a vehicle, the insurance is very high. Insurance premium is high. Why? Because you don't own the vehicle. So the owner will determine the kind of insurance you have. They will determine your interest rate. And then how you handle the vehicle, yes, is that. But when you lease it after the period, you give the vehicle back to the owner.
Yes.
So what kind of waste is that? And why are we doing that? Why are we not introducing public transport? I was told at Champon's time, at some point he had to ban private vehicles weekend to deal with, and I think it was a very fantastic idea. When I was coming here, I was telling the taxi driver, you see people all over in traffic, sitting alone in a vehicle, and then there's traffic. They are in VH. It's a liability on our nation, because do you expect to buy the same fuel? We expect to buy fuel to make sure that all these things are running with hard currency. So why not get a transportation system basic? If the mayor of Accra today just say, look, you can't get into Accra if you are alone in a vehicle. It works. New York, they're doing that. You can't get into New York in the morning between certain hours.
Alone in a vehicle?
No, they won't let you go. You have to do vehicle pool. And also to incentivize it, certain parts of the roads, they'll say, okay, this road, if you are not up to 3, you can't follow that part. And you want your vehicle to move smoothly. So if that becomes the case, public transport will be patronized. Government can invest in public transport and then make a lot of money out of it, because government should be making money and investing in things. So basically, we can import this. Some of them don't take Dr. Bawumia's vision or lack of vision. It's just a mayor making a decision that can save us a great deal. So for most part, he couldn't provide for me what I was expecting. Whether he's still going to do it, I don't know. But the things must be tangible. You look at the 24-hour economy. It's a concept that is all embracing everything. I was telling someone, you see how in the morning we're all going towards the same direction? If there's 24-hour economy, it's going to reduce it. Means that some people worked previously in the night. They don't need to be in traffic with us. So it's going to solve major problems, and they help us to plan in a very strategic way to develop other sectors. So that's a vision that is clear. But if you are coming and then you are just reciting most of these things that he talked about, he wasn't able to link it to, after I've done this, what is going to happen? You keep the free HSS, which I know is not sustainable, because we don't have reliable funding source. Where are we funding it from? From everywhere. So it's all over the place. So all these things, President Mahama said, I'll review it. That means there's a room for a lot of innovative ideas to keep it working.
And for it to be improved and made better.
Right. And then, major things, technical universities that he established. You take a carpenter. Sometimes it's very frustrating. You ask 5 carpenters, how much are you going to charge? And they give you different prices. If they go through technical university, they learn some math, they learn some statistics, they learn some economics, and they are now able to structure themselves. They'll say, okay, let me charge you based on material. You bring 5 people, 5 contractors, and tell them, estimate how much is it going to cost to build this house. Trust me, if you bring 5 of them, they might get the same figures. Because they charge you the workmanship, maybe based on the quantity of materials. But ask someone, I usually ask them, how did you come out with the figure, the charge? He will scratch his head and say, oh, Master, bring 500. There's no basis for it. But if you put all those people in technical universities, give them some exposure to some level, some knowledge, they can help a lot. They can be regulated effectively. If we give them training, license them, you can now tell, if you come to build something for me, I have to know you are certified. I mean, you have a license. That means you have some quality assurance with you that I can rely on to have my work done. But if you don't know that and say, oh, I need a carpenter, you say, oh, Kobna can do it. Whether Kobna has a license, he has whatever, you don't care. You just want your work done. So we should begin to, and this doesn't cost money. It costs a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot of loans for us to fix the system. So I was expecting tangible things like that. But if you can't, you set the tone. Like President Mahama, he's not going to be the one that will determine how 24-hour economy run. He incentivizes that. He tells us, this is the program I want to introduce. And the agenda is aimed towards growing our economy out of the current crisis. So that makes a lot of sense. Anybody can understand. You see it on the sign, you can tell. You see it on any company, you can read it and understand. So that is how vision is packaged. But Dr. Bawumia just was all over the place. He never talked about how he's going to get us out of the debt, which is choking us right now. So he has to tell us, this is a plan I want to use to clear the mess. You took a lot of loans during pandemic. You got a lot of money in. You kept your expenditure. VAs were running during pandemic. And now blame it on the pandemic and then Russia, Ukraine. You never change anything. You know, and then certain ambitious projects. You see the flyover in Tamale. Maybe they needed water more than they did that. They needed the flyover. But because we're trying to get enhance the resume of Dr. Bawumia to run for president, we needed to do some projects that now he can talk about them.
Doc,
yeah.
I think we have to find a way of repeating this again because our time is up.
Yeah.
I'm out of time. I want to say a big thank you for coming. In fact, you've left me one of the most profound quotes I've said. In Ghana, we expect an engineer to speak better English than build a bridge. Yes. I think that alone tells us our situation and how come we've gotten to where we are. Doc, what's nice having you.
Thank you very much.
How long are you in Ghana?
I'll be here for a while.
Okay. So we'll arrange this. And we'll come back and talk about this matter of the economy, because today our focus was not on the economy. I was trying to get your general view on how you see Ghana now.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time. Dr. Justice Salifu is an organization and management expert joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you for joining PENDREAM TV. We really appreciate your time. Please, if you have not yet subscribed as a new member, please do for us. Hit the notification bell for more updates. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.